The active dead hang can be key if you're using bands for assistance often, because that will teach you that initial engagement. Hey guys, it's Corey from Redefining Strength, and today I want to talk about taking your pull-ups from 0 to 10. The pull-up is an amazing but challenging bodyweight movement, and we don't want to look like a flopping fish on land when we're trying to get our chin above the bar. We want to look like a knife sliding through butter. Pull-ups are a more complex exercise than we give them credit for. They're a badass bodyweight move, but they require a certain mind-body connection that we often don't have because of postural distortions from sitting at a desk all day. So it's key we address these postural distortions before we even get into our workouts. I want to go over 3 common training mistakes I see, and then even 3 ways to improve your pull-up training, and even how to address these postural distortions so you can get more out of your pull-up work. So what are 3 things holding you back from really improving your pull-ups? Mistake number 1 I see is using assistants to do more reps and not recognizing the drawbacks of the assistants they're using. A lot of times we go to band-assisted pull-ups, and you might need these to increase your volume of pull-ups. However, we have to recognize that the band comes with specific drawbacks. When you use the band to assist you with pull-ups, while it can make it easier so you can do full reps, you have to recognize that a lot of times when you're starting out with that pull-up, you're actually starting over that initial engagement. So if you're constantly using the band to even help you get that first one or to build some volume of your pull-ups, you're always starting over that initial depression and retraction of your shoulder blades. So if you never learn that, it might be why you sort of feel like you need a little jump to get over that initial point, and then you can do your pull-ups, but you can't fully extend out at the bottom to do more reps. So you need to recognize that if you are going to use a band, you need to include some sort of work on that initial depression and retraction of your shoulder blades. Mini pull-ups are a great fix for that. The second mistake I often see is not focusing on quality repetitions. I know we really want to get to 10 reps, right? We really want to eke out that last one. And sometimes when you're doing a max attempt or that little test, you have to eke out the last one and do a little kick. However, when you're working to build up that volume, you want to make sure that your practice is perfect. Imperfect practice doesn't lead to the quality results that you want. So as you're doing your repetitions, make sure that your form is correct. Make sure you're extending fully at the bottom, even pausing, and then you're pulling your chin fully over the bar. Don't do half reps unless you're working on a specific point in your lift. So focus on those quality repetitions, even if it means doing fewer reps in a row and then actually taking more rest between reps. Mistake number 3 I see is actually getting too focused on building back strength. First off, what we don't recognize is that sometimes when we're doing our back strength workouts, we're not actually engaging our back like we should be. If you ever feel your biceps sort of taking over during rows, it might be because you're actually turning it into more of a bicep curl. So make sure you're actually engaging your back during your back exercises. Otherwise, those moves won't be paying off the way you think they should be. And then don't ignore pressing movements and core work as well. While the pull-up may be a back exercise, it does recruit our anterior delt as well as our pec minor especially. So we do want to do pressing movements in our workouts as well. Those pressing movements also help us with scapular stability and mobility and even shoulder stability. So pressing properly is key to improving our pull-ups as well. You also want to include core strengthening work, especially things like hanging abs because they'll also work on your grip strength and your back engagement. But the pull-up is a really core-intensive movement. So if you're not strengthening your core as well, that might be holding you back from getting out those extra reps. So what are 3 ways you can improve your pull-up training and avoid these mistakes? Tip number 1 is to include mobility and activation work prior to your strength workouts. Make sure you're doing the foam rolling, stretching, and activation to improve your shoulder mobility as well as your scapular mobility and stability. You want to make sure you've engaged those back muscles before you go into those compound movements. Sometimes doing those isolated movements to make sure that you're retracting your shoulder blades, you're depressing your shoulder blades, you actually feel your upper back working can help you during pull-ups because you have that mind-body connection established. We have to remember that when we spend so much time hunched over a desk, a lot of times we're protracted, we're rounded forward, and that posture can shut off certain muscles. We need to take our warm-up to activate those muscles so they engage correctly and we have proper recruitment patterns during our compound movements, during our pull-up work. Do your back flies to work on retraction. Do those single arm pull downs to work on your depression of your shoulder blades and even correct some imbalances. But do that activation work prior and make sure that you're improving your shoulder mobility as well as your spinal extension. Tip number 2 is to use tempos in your workouts. We're stronger during the eccentric portion of a movement, so on that lower down during the pull-up. We can use this to our advantage, especially if we can only do one or two full ones. You could then either do jumping to a slow eccentric or even set up fully at the top and slowly lower down to get out a few more reps and up that volume. That can really help if you can say do one or two and you want to try and build towards 5, 6, 7, or 10. So you want to use that eccentric to allow you to do a harder variation of the pull-up than you might be able to otherwise. You can also use pull-up holds to strengthen specific points in the movement. So if you find you get stuck about halfway up, you can do a hold right above there. You can also do top holds or even that active dead hang. The active dead hang can be key if you're using bands for assistance often, because that will teach you that initial engagement and that initial depression and retraction of your shoulder blades. You can also use partial reps. The mini pull-up is a great way to activate your back and really work on that initial movement of your shoulder blades to help you engage to pull up from the dead hang. You can also do partial reps if you really struggle with the lockout. If you struggle to get your chin over the bar, you might find you do mid and go over the bar only back to mid. That can help you work on any weak points in your lift by using the different tempos, by using the pauses, and even the partial reps. Tip number 3 is to use rest-pause technique and reps past failure to build your endurance. If you want to get to 10 pull-ups, you have to increase your pull-up volume. But you need to make it quality reps if you want those 10 strict pull-ups. That's where rest-pause technique or reps past failure can really help you out. They can help you build up the quality volume. With rest-pause technique, what you'll basically do is you'll start with the maximum number of quality reps you can do. You'll then rest for 15 to 30 seconds and eke out a few more reps. Stop before you hit that failure point so that you can rest again and then eke out more reps. You'll want to do this for the exact amount you want to hit. You want to set a volume cap. So if you want to hit those 10 reps, you'll start with your max, which may be 4 or 5, rest for 15 to 30 seconds, eke out maybe 1 or 2 more, rest again until you finally hit that 10. By resting such a short amount of time, you're not allowing your body to fully rest and recover. This helps build that strength endurance, but while doing quality reps. If you know you won't be able to recover in that 15 to 30 seconds to do more quality reps, you can use reps past failure. With reps past failure, what you'll do is you'll do the max reps you can, and then you'll use an assisted variation to eke out more reps. So if you can do 4 to 5 reps, you might do 4 to 5 reps full, then add a band or foot assisted variation to do a few more reps until you get to that 10 rep max. By adding in the assistance, you're doing reps past that failure point to help you get the strength and endurance to build up to that volume. All of these tips can help you go from 0 to 10 pull-ups. However, whatever you do consistently is what's going to lead to the best results. So if you're inconsistent in implementing any of these techniques, you're not going to get the results that you really want. You have to design a consistent progression so you can track your numbers and see your results. What we do consistently pays off. So make sure when you're implementing these techniques, you have set workouts that you're doing each week to see progress in. It's also key that we include enough training frequency during our week. If you're only doing one pull-up workout a week, you might want to actually increase your training frequency over the week. You might want to even do pull-up work 3, 4, or 5 times a week. That will mean decreasing the volume of pull-up work you do on your one set day and instead spreading it over 3, 4, or 5 days. You might even eke out a little bit extra volume by doing some activation-based workouts, so working on that scapular mobility and stability and improving your shoulder health. By doing the rolling, stretching, and activation on another day, not only can you recover better from your previous session, but you can get in a little bit of extra work that will only pay off in your next training session. If you're ready to take your pull-up training to the next level, but you're not sure how to implement these tools, if you're not sure how to increase your training frequency, and you know you really want to get consistent with your training, take a look at my 30-day pull-up challenge. It's a great progression laid out for 30 days that will help you improve your pull-ups, whether or not you're really still working on that first few, or you're ready to take it to 10, 15, or even 20. If you liked the video, make sure to like it, comment below if you have any questions, and subscribe. We're posting new videos each week. And take on that 30-day pull-up challenge.